I think we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the watch along to the 2025 Mexico City Grand Prix. We are 13 minutes and a bit away from the beginning of the race, from the starting of the formation lap, and right now, nothing much is happening. But we can talk a lot about how the race is gonna pan out. So, first, Lando Norris. Let's take a look at the grid, okay? Lando Norris is on pole position. Right alongside him is Charles Leclerc, and right behind him is Lewis Hamilton. These people haven't updated the images. That's why you are seeing Lewis in Mercedes suit, and a lot of the drivers, actually every driver, is wearing the old version and old design of their suits, including Oliver Behrman for Haas. Yuki Tsunoda does not have the Red Bull suit on. Carlos Sainz is still wearing the Ferrari suit. You get the picture. The point that I'm trying to make is that P3 is an advantageous position than P1. Lando Norris is known to bottle his race start, so which can give the opportunity to Leclerc and Hamilton to pip him at the race start. Then you got Osama bin Russell and Max Verstappen, and Max Verstappen is in the Mercedes sandwich, so anything can happen in that. And then after that, Oscar Piastri, who has just recently, by the looks of it, has forgotten how to drive. He doesn't have any sort of pace. And then the battle between Hadjar and Behrman will be interesting because Behrman is on the cusp of a race ban. And Isaac Hadjar said that he doesn't have much pace to fight. So I guess defending against a potentially faster Haas, Haas is a good race car. That's going to be very interesting to see. Anyway, a lot can happen. I am gonna be gunning for a Leclerc or a Hamilton win. We want Ferrari to win. Ideally, they should finish 1-2. And Max Verstappen should be P3. And Norris should be P4. Then George Russell P5. Kimi Antonelli P6. And Oscar Piastri P7 because he doesn't have any pace. That was my initial prediction. So let's see how things change the moment after the race begins. And we have a huge pile up in lap 1, turn 1. So right now, nothing much is happening. And yeah, Karun Jandok and some chick are talking about, how the race can pan out. They're talking about the strategy option. They're doing the grid walk / build up for the 2025 Mexico City Grand Prix. We don't care about none of that shit, man. We don't care about the celebrities. We don't care about anything. We just care about who is going to crash into who. Lap 1, turn 1. And you know what the thing about Oscar Piastri is? I think they're doing the national anthem. You know what the thing about Oscar Piastri right now is? He has lost his confidence in the car. That's the critical thing that you need to understand. And yeah. He has lost all of his confidence in the car, and that's why he is taking it a bit conservative. You know what I'm saying? So he is taking it a bit conservative, and due to which he is not pushing his car to the absolute limit, and as a result of that, he's not pushing his car to the absolute limit, and as a result of that, the lap times tumble. People are still walking into the stadiums, and the Mexican national anthem is still going on. It's a long one, and or maybe not. Maybe it's like a minute and a bit. So, anyway, the anthem is still going on. Is what I'm trying to say. It's a beautiful location, man. It's a beautiful location. The track is high, and that is creating all sorts of excitement from the get-go. This is why we love this track. This is why we love Formula 1. This type of weird ass tracks. Someone saw it like 2,200 meters above the sea level. You know what we need here? We need a racetrack here. And and now we have, I think this is the highest racetrack on the Formula 1 calendar today, which is what we need. To spice things up a little bit, we want the engineering boundaries to be pushed. So yeah. So we'll see how all of these things pan out. And now the media people are asking some dumb questions to Lando Norris that I'm not going to listen to. I'm not going to listen to that because they're just asking questions about hypotheticals which don't matter. They ask question like, what do you think is going to happen in turn 1? Bitch, that's a dumb question. Like, what is your approach is going to be on turn one, knowing you have so much to lose, and if you crash out, if you're too aggressive, if you crash out, you can lose a lot of points. What do you think is going to happen into turn one? And these type of questions are dumb. And now she's asking the same question to Oscar Piastri probably, and saying that, hey, you're starting P7, as if he didn't know. You're starting P7, what are you going to do into turn one? You are right in the thick of it, and around you are like Kimi Antonelli and the midfield guys, so they're going to be hungry. So Max Verstappen's on board. That's what we are being shown right now, where he went from P3 to P1. When was this? I think this was in 2022 or not. Who had pole in Mexico in like of the two Mercedes? I think this was, oh my god, somebody hit somebody. So anyway, I think this was from 2022 Mexico City Grand Prix, and in 2023 Mexico City Grand Prix it was, no, in 2024 Max Verstappen started P2 and Carlos Sainz started from pole, but Max Verstappen got the lead going into turn 1 because he had a good start. So if you're starting on the even portions of the track, like P2, P4, P6, that sort of thing, you will have the inside line going into turn 1. So if you have like a slightly decent launch compared to the other guys, like the guy on the same row as you can easily steal the position going into turn 1 because it's the inside line. So yeah, like I think Max Verstappen is very good at starting from pole and having a good launch because he's Max Verstappen. But right now, Lando Norris, it looks like, based on what we have learned from history, he's gonna bottle the race start. If he doesn't bottle the race start, it's gonna surprise me. In this stage of the championship, as the season is coming to an end, I am 100% sure that Lando Norris's nerves are gonna get to him and he is going to bottle the start to some degree. And this is going to be interesting for the remainder of the race. Again, they are showing something that I am not gonna talk about because I don't like their dumb takes. I mean, they ask fantasize related questions, fantasy related questions. What do you think is gonna happen if two of you go side by side into turn 1? I mean, we're gonna find out. That's the answer. There's nothing else I can say. I cannot see the future, right? So again, Sky Sports people need to start asking better questions. Right now we are just seeing some ad messages from the sponsors, and we are 5 minutes away from the commencement or the start of the formation lap, and then we will go to the action. This is the best part, man. This is why I work hard at my 9 to 5, and I pay all my bills, and I'm a law-abiding citizen because I can sit here on some Sundays and talk shit about the 20 best drivers in the world, and just make fun of people like the media people, especially because they are supposed to be professionals, and they usually only ask dead questions, and also talk a little bit of shit about the drivers because why not? These guys are 20 something year old traumatized kids, millionaires, models, not models themselves except for George Russell, but like millionaires, brand deals, elite athletes and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting here as a couch commentator talking shit about the best drivers in the world. So it all of it starts to make sense. All of the pain and suffering that you go through in your day-to-day life, through your job, through the economy, and everything else, all of the socioeconomic pressures that are put on you on this planet, all of that starts to make sense when you're doing this. When you're watching Formula One and you're yelling at your TV because some guy didn't take the corner the way he could have in your imagination. So that's all life is about. And that's what we're gonna do for the next, like I don't know how many fucking laps, 56 laps, I think that's the number. Where do we have 71 laps? I think in Monaco we have 71 laps. So anyway, we will see. We will see how lap 1, turn 1. We're just 3.5 minutes away. And yeah. I don't want to start my live stream too early. You know, there are a lot of people who start their Formula One live streams way too early. I have to speak less because if I talk too much, I'm going to drain all of my energy and then there'll be nothing left for the remainder of the race. I'm already out of water. I bought 2 liters of water, and in the excitement and the build up of the Grand Prix, I have drank both of them. I mean, there are a few sips left, but there are only a few sips. I don't know if it's going to last me for the entirety of the race, so we'll see. The hard tire is a step harder, you know, like they skipped a step to get harder. I don't think anybody's going to use that. With the low deck track, I think we will see the softs and then the mediums. I don't know who is going to start where. I hope Max Verstappen takes the gamble and start on the softs, because then he can make some positions ahead in the race, in the initial stages of the race, especially in the initial few corners. We are looking at the starting grid. Franco Colapinto starts at the back, alongside with him on 19th Lance Stroll. Then we have Pierre Gasly starting 18th. Along ahead of him is Alexander Albon, P17, who got knocked out in Q1. Gabriel Bortoleto faced some traffic issues, that's why he's starting 16th. And Liam Lawson is shit at qualifying, that's why he's starting 15th. Fernando Alonso 14th, alongside Formula One veteran Nico Hulkenberg, who scored his first podium a few races ago. Then ahead in 12th, we got the smooth operator, last time's race winner Carlos Sainz. Alongside him is the dumb cunt Frenchman Esteban Ocon on P11. Yuki Tsunoda starts P10 alongside his nemesis Oliver Bearman on P9. They had it coming together in Kota. Then in P7 and P8, we have Piastri and Hajar respectively. Ahead of them is Kimi Antonelli on P6, and then alongside him is the defending champion Max Verstappen starting P5. George Russell is starting P4, then Lewis Hamilton starting alongside him, his old teammate of course, starting P3. His best ever start for Ferrari, and in the front row is taken by Lando Norris, P1, great pole position. Alongside him starts the great guy from Ferrari, Charles Leclerc. We are 1 minute away from the formation lap, so it's gonna be fun. I hope I did a good job in talking about the starting grid. I hope it was happening parallelly. I mean, I cannot share the broadcast. If I could, I definitely would have. We could have watched it together. But obviously, you know, the Formula One management, you know, they need more than millions of dollars. They need more than billions of dollars. They need more than trillions of dollars. So greed has no ending, is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I cannot share the broadcast, and you have to take my word for it. So anyway, as I was predicting, it's going to be soft and medium. Those are the only two tires we're going to see. Maybe Ferrari will put on the hard tires on Leclerc or Hamilton to ruin their races, because it hasn't happened in a while. It hasn't happened. I mean, in a while, we haven't seen Ferrari deliberately ruining one of their drivers' races. So it'll be fun. So yeah, we're just a few seconds away from the beginning of the formation lap, and let's freaking go. The mechanics are now holding their breath. We are ready, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready. Alright, the covers, the warming covers of the tire got off, and one light to go off, and then the formation lap will begin. Do I need to refresh this page in front of you guys so that you can see the live timing? I think I do. Yes, I was right. So now alright. So the formation lap begins, and it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. So let's see who is starting on which tire. So I think everybody's on the mediums. I think Verstappen is on the mediums, but I didn't have a good look. So yeah, in the last 5 races, both of the McLaren drivers combined scored 119 points, and Max Verstappen alone scored 119 points. So It's interesting, but right now the issue is Verstappen is on the back foot, especially for the Mexico City Grand Prix. I thought he was going to be dominant, man. I thought him and Red Bull are going to be dominant, and this is just a shock that Norris is on pole and by good margin. You know, he's like he put in a very good pole lap. I saw the onboard, I saw the video, very good. But I hope he bottles the start, and yeah, Lewis Hamilton should sneak into the lead. Maybe Leclerc can also sneak into the lead, and that's the thing that we are all about. So the design of the trophy of the Mexico City Grand Prix is inspired from the eagle in the Mexican national flag. The drivers are now making their way through the stadium section. Kimi Antonelli, Oscar Piastri, they are now going through the stadium section. So we still have a while, because then we have like 13 more drivers to go through the stadium section and lining up on the grid. So we have like a minute or two before the race actually begins. And yeah, Max Verstappen is doing everything he can to back the pack up so that Norris's tires, and like everybody ahead of him, their tires get significantly colder and as colder as possible. So but this time he's not doing it too much, because he himself also needs to retain some heat in his tires. Piastri lined up, and then we have, I don't know who. So Lewis Hamilton is starting on the softs. Who else is starting on the softs? Leclerc starting on the softs, or what? Who is starting on the mediums? That's what I wanna know. If someone starts on the medium and the second stint is on the softs, then I reckon that's a quicker overall race time, because when you are on the soft tires, the fuel load is less. So I think you're gonna be even quicker. But anyway, 5 lights time, lights out, and away we go is about to happen. We got the guy at the background. 4, 5 lights on, lights out, and away we go. Charles Leclerc has a good start. Norris has even a better start. Lewis Hamilton tucks up behind Charles, and Norris leads them all into turn 1 safely. I mean, they're still about to meet turn 1. Max Verstappen is right alongside of Lewis Hamilton, pushed outside into the grass. The Ferraris touch a little bit. Verstappen is very outside, way off in the track, way off. And now Charles Leclerc steals the lead, and then Lewis Hamilton is in P3, I think. At P4, shit. So again, Max Verstappen is now P3. Max Verstappen is P3. Lewis Hamilton is inching right ahead of him, and there are 3 people right in front of him. So Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen going wheel to wheel. Okay, so Verstappen is on the medium tires. That's why he had the issue. That's why his race start was not as impressive. He ran a little bit wide though. But Norris leads Leclerc, leads Hamilton, leads Verstappen, then the Mercedes of George Russell, and then who else is there? Oh, after that is a Haas. Is it Oliver Behrman? Holy fucking shit. Oliver Behrman is P6. He made a couple of positions. He made 1 position. I mean, he made 2 positions. He started P8. Holy fuck. Isaac Hadjar dropped down to P11. He lost out. Wow. So great start by Lando Norris, man. So we need to see the race start again. Lando is flying away. Max Verstappen is tucked up nicely behind Lewis Hamilton in P4. I genuinely thought Norris is going to bottle the race start, but he didn't. But then again, Oscar Piastri dropped 2 positions. He's in P9. Holy fucking shit. Russell radio. Oh shit. So he is saying that Verstappen has cut the position and he needs to give the position back. So that's going to be interesting. Why am I not getting any kind of audio? I mean, it's not that it matters to me. So anyway, so Max Verstappen cut the corner massively into turn 1, and he still kept the position ahead. So that's very interesting. I think they're gonna call it as a racing incident. Now Verstappen has DRS on Hamilton, but I don't think it's gonna matter much because Lewis also has DRS to Charles. So yeah, right about. So anyway, so now Norris is already 1.6 ahead of Charles Leclerc. I think he's gonna fly away. I think Norris is gonna have an easy race unless he is truly fucked by a slow pit stop. But Charles Leclerc was in the fastest lap in the early stages. Let's see if he can keep up. So now Piastri has DRS on Yuki Tsunoda. Piastri is behind Yuki Tsunoda, mind you. And Yuki is on medium tires. He's holding his own. If Piastri fails to make any kind of struggle, he is throwing the championship away, man. Piastri needs to go ahead and make some progress right now. So Liam Lawson is in the pits. He broke his front wing. This guy, I mean, he's gonna lose his job, bro. The way he's driving these days. Now there's a yellow flag somewhere. Take the yellow flag away, man. Where is the yellow flag? Why is there a yellow flag? But yeah, Verstappen P4. I think the race is gonna come to Max after like 10 or 15 laps or something, because then his medium tires will have pace, and around him those who have the soft tires, they won't have pace. Russell is complaining a lot on the radio. So Verstappen can get a penalty because he massively cut through the grass. He didn't even take the corner, cut through the grass, and he still kept the position. So Lando Norris now responds with the fastest lap of the race, 1:22.5. Again, man, it looks like he's going to be vanishing into the distance because he's just, that McLaren is extremely quick, and Lando is very, very quick with it. He has unlocked some great pace on Saturday, both in FP3 and also in the qualifying session. I mean, in qualifying session he was the fastest, obviously, but in FP3 also in the yellow tires he had some good pace. So, but Oscar Piastri again right now is struggling to get past Yuki Tsunoda, and behind him is Esteban Ocon, and let's see if Esteban Ocon decides to send it down the inside and ruin Oscar Piastri's race even further, but we will see what happens with Lando Norris. But Norris is flying away, man. 1.8 already ahead of Leclerc. Let's see if Leclerc can just drop back a little bit and maintain undercut distance and just save his tires and see what happens. But Lewis Hamilton has also settled in quite nicely in P3. The only thing that can help Max Verstappen right now is Yuki Tsunoda, who is defending with all his might against Oscar Piastri. This is the best part because, as you can see in the standings, Yuki Tsunoda here is ahead of Oscar Piastri, and Oscar Piastri is on faster tires, but because Yuki Tsunoda also has DRS from Kimi Antonelli, it's very difficult, right? And also the DRS impact of, the effect of DRS on the McLarens is not that good. So I think Norris had a good second phase of start, and then Leclerc and Hamilton had a good start as well. Then Hamilton dives down the inside, Leclerc pushes Verstappen wide. Verstappen, oh, I think Leclerc should give that position back to Lewis Hamilton, by the way. Yep, Leclerc needs to give the position back to Hamilton because Hamilton had a very good start. So Hamilton starts and Leclerc moves over to cut him off. Then Lewis just sneaks in past the inside, and he uses the toe from Norris, and he could have stolen P2, but unfortunately Leclerc cut the corner, Verstappen cut the corner, Verstappen joined behind Lewis, but Leclerc joined ahead of Lewis. So that was insane. Verstappen on the radio. I mean, Verstappen is obviously complaining on the radio, and he's saying that he got squeezed like crazy. But, Verstappen was just sending it down there. That was a very desperate move, man. Someone else, Verstappen went off again. Lewis Hamilton is P4. How? Oh, Max. Oh, Lewis locks up. Lewis locks up, runs wide. What the flip, man? Lewis, what are you doing, man? So Max Verstappen is being a menace right now. Oliver Behrman is running P3 for some reason. Wait, okay, wait. Everything got changed. Behrman is now ahead of Max Verstappen. Oh my goodness. So Verstappen now dropped back to P5. He was momentarily, I mean, I think he sent it somewhere. He has a flat spot on his front left. Verstappen is going crazy, bro. Verstappen is going absolutely crazy because the race has got fucked up now. The race got immediately fucked up. So Verstappen, I think, sent it around Hamilton and got the position ahead of Hamilton illegally, and then he let him by. And in that situation, Oliver Behrman snuck in. He had a great opportunity, and now Oliver Behrman is running P4. It's unbelievable. Right now, the way it stands, Oscar Piastri loses his championship lead to Lando Norris. And Max Verstappen gains some points, but he loses points to Norris, which is, whatever. It doesn't matter at this stage. Sorry. So Verstappen dives down the inside, makes contact with Lewis. Lewis doesn't give the position back, and Lewis also forces him wide. This is just like 2021. Verstappen sends it down the inside and then makes contact with Lewis, tries to shove Lewis around the outside, but Lewis doesn't do that, and Lewis in return shoves him again. It's a very nice, amazing racing from the couple of these two guys. A little bit of wheel banging, because you're not going to intimidate Lewis. I think Max Verstappen is going to remember these things. Then Lewis locks up somewhere, and then Verstappen, has some issue, and then Lewis rejoins the race ahead of Verstappen, and then he keeps that position. So I think a lot of investigations need to happen at this stage. Yeah, a lot of investigation needs to happen, and the biggest beneficiary in all of this is Oliver Behrman. And George Russell got fucked over because he's just dropping like a stone, man. Now let's see, Max Verstappen has DRS on Oliver Behrman. It's just not a good race, man. It's not a good race for Max so far, because Max right now is under pressure from Kimi Antonelli, and right now, oh my god, Piastri and Yuki Tsunoda are battling. Piastri sends it around the outside in turn 5, and Yuki protects it. Wow, Yuki Tsunoda, great defense. Turn 4, sorry, not turn 5. Hamilton incident, 24 restrictions, escape road instructions noted. So Lewis Hamilton is now under investigation for the turn 4 incident because he locked up, went off, and rejoined ahead of Max Verstappen. But the problem is, Max Verstappen is not the immediate car behind him. There is Oliver Behrman. So it's a fucked up situation that they're in now. I think they're going to give him a penalty. But we'll see what happens. Let's see, man. Verstappen is driving tooth and nail. Driving tooth and nail. And the problem with him right now is that now his tires are cooked because he went off track multiple times. Liam Lawson retired. For fuck's sake, man, this guy. He's gonna get fired soon, man. Sergio Perez curse. Last year, he had some issues with Sergio Perez in the Mexico City Grand Prix, and now in Mexico City Grand Prix, he's having a bad race. Lewis on radio. So Lewis Hamilton is asking about Max Verstappen, who took advantage in turn 1, lap 1, and made that overtake over George Russell off the track. And now a lot of investigations are pending. Right now it's been a crazy race. Nobody is following the laws anymore. Every few laps, someone is breaking the law. Someone is just sending it around the outside, or throwing it down the inside. So anything is happening. Yuki Tsunoda is still ahead of Oscar Piastri, so that's brilliant to see. Oscar Piastri now under continuous pressure from Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon, if he gets a chance, he's going to send it. I hope he does. Because if Piastri loses points, then it's going to be Lando versus Max. And now Max is not in an advantageous position, is what I'm saying. So that's the fucked up part. But we'll see. And a lot of penalties are also waiting to be dished out. So if Max is gonna get a bunch of penalty, then if Max is going to get a bunch of penalty, then he's going to his lead, I guess, not lead, but the points that he was gaining over Oscar Piastri will be nullified because he may end up even behind Piastri. So, oh my God, is Mexico is the race? Is it the Sergio Perez curse? Oh my goodness. If it happens, because last year in 2024 Mexico City Grand Prix, something happened with Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen and Lando. And this year, because Perez is not in the Red Bull team, it didn't quite work out well for Red Bull Racing. But I think Verstappen there is a penalty coming Verstappen's way. There might be a penalty coming Hamilton's way. I don't think Hamilton did anything wrong. I think Verstappen deserves a 5-second penalty for cutting the corner in the lap 1 turn 1 incident. That's a slam dunk 5 second. Then I think he initiated the collision. He deliberately sent it down the inside and he's ran his opponent off the track. And that's what he needs to do. I think I think a 10-second penalty is coming in the way of Max Verstappen because he's driving like an idiot. Verstappen is not driving good, man. Sergio Perez is very, very close to Yuki Tsunoda, who doesn't have DRS to the car in front. Come on, Yuki, cover the inside. Yuki Tsunoda did not cover the inside, and now Oscar Piastri accelerates past Yuki Tsunoda, drive-by overtake. Now he's on the charge. He's going after Osama bin Russell. Now this is going to be interesting. Because, Yuki Tsunoda, we know Yuki Tsunoda is just, whatever. And, if the positioning of the people remain like that, then Verstappen will be at 316 points, but Norris will be at 357. So that is like 40 something points. We start opening the gap, Leclerc behind. Okay, whatever. So if it all remains like this, then Verstappen will have to close up about 42 points, 41 points. Yeah, he will be 41 points behind. So Mexico has not been productive yet. It has not been massive. He has closed the gap to the championship leader by 9 points. 9 points. I think he's losing a point to championship leader by 1 point because going into the Mexico City Grand Prix, it was 40 points. And the way things are right now, it'll be 41. So he's going to lose a point, I think. Just puts in a lot of pressure for the remaining Grand Prix. Yuki Tsunoda is now under pressure from Esteban Ocon. I think he's going to get past. Oscar Piastri is 2.1 seconds behind Osama bin Russell. So battle is not impending now. The Haas of Esteban Ocon is attacking Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki doesn't have an answer for anybody today. The Red Bulls don't have any answer for anybody today. Let's see if Verstappen can hold on to that position. He is just driving too desperately, I would say, Max. This is not his finest race work. If they pit Oscar Piastri right now, the pit window is not open yet. Yuki is being attacked once again. Let's see. Esteban Ocon has a look, but not enough. Okay, that's nice. But Isaac Hajar, man, he fucked up at the race start. He fucked up. Lost 4 positions. Carlos Sainz lost a couple of positions. I don't understand why Alexander Albon is on the hard tires. For I don't know why. They could have put him on the mediums and managed the tires as much as possible, as deep into the race as possible. Dangerous defense. Esteban Ocon is whining like a bitch on the radio about the defensive moves of Yuki Tsunoda. Lando Norris is just stretching his legs, man. He's 4 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc. He is like pulling multiple tenths per lap, dude. But we need the results of the investigations. Right now, like at the beginning of the race, a lot of people went wide, and then we had the Verstappen Hamilton collision, just like 2021, good old times. And we need to see the results of that. We need to see who got how much penalty, because it's gonna give us a definitive understanding of the pecking order of who is running where. Fernando Alonso attacking Carlos Sainz. Two Spaniards fighting in a Spanish speaking country that their ancestors probably colonized. So it's poetic if you think it like that. No further investigation about Sainz Alonso leaving the track and getting an advantage. Okay, we are getting some results of the investigations. I need to see the replay of that though. But Max Verstappen is under pressure from Andrea Kimi Antonelli. So far, Kimi has not been able to mount a good amount of pressure on Verstappen to, make it look like at least he's going for a pass. They're now going through the stadium section. But let's see. It looks hopeful for Kimi. I mean, he definitely does have the pace. But Oliver Behrman, man, biggest benefactor of all of this. He just stayed out of trouble and picked up P4. And I think he is comfortably ahead of Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is 1.4 seconds behind Oliver Behrman. Something tells me that the Red Bull is shit. I think it's going to be a one-off track. I think Mexico, apart from Mexico, the remaining races is going to be great for Red Bull and Max Verstappen. But again, man, the McLaren boys, they have found some pace. Not for Oscar Piastri, but where it matters. I think it's gonna be enough because of the lead that they have. It's gonna be enough for them to sneak and steal away the World Championship. Leclerc and Hamilton needs to do something, man. So on turn 4, Lewis Hamilton left the track and gained an advantage, which is yeah, I mean, it's debatable, understand. So Hamilton is probably going to get a 5 second penalty. So he will be slightly behind Oliver Behrman. Oliver Behrman could get a podium if Lewis Hamilton gets a 5 second penalty right now. Because, good job, Ollie, let's keep doing this. So Oliver Behrman gets some positive reinforcement from the radio. 10 second time penalty for Lewis Hamilton, leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Lewis Hamilton gets a 10 second time penalty for leaving the track at turn 4 and gaining an advantage, which means he's going to be way outside of the podium positions. The Ferrari podium, first ever Ferrari podium for Lewis Hamilton, which could have been a possibility, is going to get ruined. I mean, it's his fault, He locked up exiting turn 4, left the track, and then rejoined the track ahead of Verstappen. That's why he is ahead of Verstappen. So he needs to get and serve that penalty. He needs to drive like a madman right now. His life depends on it. He needs to drive like a motherfucker. Just push, man. Use those fucking tires up. This is not good news for Lewis and Lewis fans. I'm a Lewis fan and it's not good news for me. It's just pretty fucked up right now. He didn't do, yeah, on the inside he locked up, then he left the track. Then, technically, his logic I understand. But I mean, he gained an advantage, not necessarily in the sense of positioning, track position, but definitely in the sense of the time advantage, like the gap that he had. So 10 second, I think, is a bit too brutal. I don't think he deserved 10 second. 5 second would have been enough, but let's see. Let's see what penalty they give to what's his name, Max Verstappen, because Max did the same thing in turn one, and if Max doesn't get a penalty for what he did in lap one, turn one, then this is definitely. I mean, I will not listen about British bias after this if that happens. But Oliver Behrman looks like he's up for the podium places. Oliver Behrman could be yet another rookie who scores a podium. Great job, Ollie. Oliver just needs to make no mistake. And right now, I think Lewis Hamilton will drop behind Oscar Piastri. So Lewis needs to go ahead and find some pace, eke that gap out so that he can serve the time penalty, get in front of Oscar Piastri, and continue his charge. But George Russell is doing a great job at defending. But let's see what happens. Piastri is inching closer and closer, by the way. But I don't think he's close enough to, mount an attack. Piastri is, I think getting more and more dialed in as the race progresses. Carlos Sainz goes to the pits and puts on a set of soft tires for whatever reason at this stage. Okay, now it seems like Piastri is much more closer to Russell. Okay, let's see. Moment of truth. Going through the stadium section, and after that, in the start finish straight, there is going to be first real overtaking attempt of Oscar Piastri onto George Russell. Oscar Piastri better be ready because it's Osama bin Russell we are talking about. Russell has a good exit out of the last corner, man. That's the thing about Russell. He knows where to position the car perfectly so that the dirty air affects the car behind, and yeah, perfect. And he gets the best traction. So Russell stays ahead. Piastri takes a bit of extra curb in turn 3. Another dose of DRS. Russell moves to the inside and then the outside. Carlos Sainz had a moment. I think the dusty part of the track caused a little bit of understeer. Now Oscar Piastri is still chasing Osama bin Russell. It's crazy that Max Verstappen is still not getting any kind of penalty. They have fucked Lewis. Okay, I get that. 10 second, maybe a little bit too harsh, but still understandable. I think 10 second is, you can justify that penalty, leaving a track getting an unfair advantage, lasting advantage. But Verstappen needs to be investigated and given a penalty as well because he left the track and he gained a couple of positions. Verstappen Hamilton incident, collision under investigation, and this is where let's see who's getting blamed for that. I think it should be Verstappen because he sent it down the inside. He was behind. I think Lewis was technically ahead. Let's see if this works out in the favor of Verstappen, then I'm not gonna listen anything about what's it called. The British bias. Okay. Anyway, let's see what Piastri does this time around. It's getting closer and closer. Have they passed through the stadium section? No, oh, it's a new lap. So George Russell is doing really good job at defending, man. Very good defense. Very good defense. Carlos Sainz puts in the fastest lap of anybody with the soft tires. Oscar Piastri again mounting an attack in the start finish straight. Just too far back. He's just too far back. Russell is doing enough. This is where Oscar Piastri loses time. But now Piastri is a bit more closer. Exiting turn 3, he's closer. Can he do it in turn 4? Can he send it down the inside? No, he cannot. Turn 4 is risky, man. If you misjudge, if you brake too late, if you brake too hard, if it's a lockup, then you're gonna lose a couple of extra positions. So Max Verstappen incident, turn 3, leaving the track and getting an advantage, noted. Let's see what happens. So Max Verstappen right now is under investigation for a couple of things. So Carlos Sainz overtook the Alpine of, I think, Colapinto, that is. Not that we needed to know. I mean, it's for literally the last position on the grid. So the semi last, the second last, not the last. Lewis on radio. So Lewis Hamilton is disagreeing, and Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari are disagreeing with the 10-second time penalty, which is, I think it's a little bit too harsh. Yes, he joined ahead of Verstappen, but I think he was already ahead of Verstappen going into the apex. So yeah, he got a little bit of an advantage. He should have lifted off a bit. We need to go ahead and see the throttle data. If he lifted off for like a second or something, then it would have been nice. Russell has more battery power remaining, and Piastri is not good at deploying it in a strategic way. So that's giving the advantage to George Russell. Osama is doing a great job of keeping Piastri behind. But let's see what happens. Lewis needs to find some pace because Bearman is now inching in closer and closer. He is sensing, he is feeling a potential podium, and Verstappen can too. If this works out in the favor of Verstappen, man, no complaining about British bias anymore. If Verstappen gets away with what he has done. So Kimi Antonelli is being told to box. I think right now all of the pit stops are gonna start. They put Kimi Antonelli on another set of on a new set of mediums. So let's see how his pace is. He is 2 seconds behind Stroll. I think he can pass Stroll, Bortoleto, Hajar, and all these people ahead of him. So let's see. Piastri is still behind Russell. Lando Norris is 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the pack by lap 23. For fuck's sake. We need a safety car. We need a safety car. Lewis Hamilton is being told to come to the box and pit. And he's going to be dead last. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be painful. Yeah. Lewis Hamilton, man. This got fucked up. Verstappen got away with the wheel banging with Lewis Hamilton in turn 1. Lewis is now serving his 10-second time penalty, got a fresh change of like a new set of soft tires that he will, I think, nurse to the end. And then we will see, I guess. He just needs to manage it. Oh my goodness, this is just painful for Lewis. Couldn't catch a break, but on the other side, Verstappen. So they are now currently discussing strategy for Max Verstappen, and Jean-Pierre Lambiase is discussing with the rest of the pit wall, and Max Verstappen is now listening to that conversation, and he's like, "Why the fuck are you telling me this?" So now Oscar Piastri is being told to box. Let's see if he gets ahead of Lewis Hamilton, but Lewis needs to push hard. If they get a red flag or a safety car right now, it's gonna work wonderfully into the hands of Max Verstappen. Oscar Piastri is in the pits. How long was his pit stop? 3.6. Could have been 1 second quicker. But let's see if Lewis Hamilton can pip him. Um. Wow. Kimi Antonelli is ahead of Piastri and Hamilton, and Piastri joins ahead of Hamilton. Wow. Great job by McLaren of timing the pit stop. They didn't screw Piastri this time. Let's see what happens with Norris's pit stop. At least Norris would get a slower pit stop. That's what I predicted. I predicted a lot of things and none of my predictions are coming true. So we'll see. Where the fuck is Beerman? Beerman pitted. Now he's P9. Beerman is ahead of Kimi. But let's see what they are doing with Max. Russell is being told to box. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton's race is ruined. And yeah, it is what it is. We need a safety car, bro. Because after this, the race is going to be extremely boring. So Mercedes crew do a nice pit stop, 2.7. George Russell is behind Kimi Antonelli and Lance Stroll. Wow. Alex Albon is getting overtaken by Oscar Piastri, and now Oscar Piastri is right behind Osama bin Russell again, and this is going to work in favor of Lewis Hamilton because now Osama bin Russell will hold Oscar Piastri behind him, and then this is going to give Hamilton the opportunity to go past Albon and try to put some pressure on Piastri. Let's see what happens. But Piastri should be racy. Nico Hulkenberg is having an extremely long pit stop for some reason. Are they retiring the car? Are they retiring Nico Hulkenberg because he's in the pits for very long? So Verstappen got away with all of his actions. Now he is comfortably P3, which is great, but he needs to go ahead and make a stop. Are they going to wait until the end of the race to try and see if they can get a safety car? Because that could happen still. We need a safety car to spice things up. Now it's gonna get boring in a while. Lewis needs to dispatch the Williams of Alex quickly. I think he's very close. Yep, steals the inside line fairly early. And now he is going to be right on the tail of championship leader Oscar Piastri, who is now stuck behind George Russell, so which is great. 5-second time penalty for Carlos Sainz for speeding in the pit lane. But I don't know why Max Verstappen got away with it. So Nico Hulkenberg did retire. Something happened to his car. I don't see any visible damage. So Isaac Hajar is defending against. Who are these people? Behrman and Antonelli. Behrman is supposed to be ahead of Hajar, no? So Behrman is now about to overtake Isaac Hajar because he's on fresher tires. Great job by Oliver. Oliver Behrman is impressing. You know, a lot of people have talked a lot of shit about Oliver Behrman recently, and I don't like that. Lewis Hamilton is P11 now because Esteban Ocon pits. Kimi Antonelli is making the moves over Isaac Hajar, and it could be possible that Oliver Behrman gets a podium. So Verstappen and Tsunoda are running P3 and P4. Neither of them had a pit stop, so that's very, very, very interesting to see. Although Yuki Tsunoda is like 13 seconds behind Max Verstappen, so Oliver Behrman is flying significantly fast. Behrman is 2.5 tons faster than Antonelli in the first sector alone. Let's see if he has the pace to keep the Mercedes behind. If Kimi Antonelli manages to keep, if Behrman manages to keep Antonelli behind, then he's definitely 100% a future world champion. Gabriel Bortoleto is under attack from Oscar Piastri. Dude, go to the inside line, defend it. At least make him go all the way around, make him work. Come on, man. We need some action, and now it's all predictable overtakes. Now Lewis Hamilton is on the tails of Gabriel Bortoleto. He needs to push. It's crazy that Verstappen didn't get any penalty, so there is no British bias. George Russell gets past Isaac Hajar. Isaac fucked up with the race start, man. Lost a couple of positions, and that's the end of his race. We still have 41 laps to go. Carlos radio. So Carlos Sainz's excuse was the fact that the car was bouncing in the pit lane, and that's why it looks like it's fast. But it's like in reality, I was not overspeeding in the pit lane. So yeah, that's that. So Verstappen will be pitting after 12 more laps, it seems. Lewis Hamilton gets past Gabriel Bortoleto as Oscar Piastri gets past Isaac Hajar. Now it's Lewis's turn to get past Isaac Hajar. Man, I just feel so bad for Lewis, man. But Lando Norris is just flying away. 16 seconds ahead of P2 man Leclerc. You know what we need right now? We need a safety car to neutralize the race. And it should happen in a time in which Verstappen and Tsunoda can pit. And yeah. But I mean, it'll also be great if Oliver Behrman stands on the last tip of the podium. But I guess we'll see. Leclerc is being told to box. Perfect timing. So Leclerc is coming in at the perfect time for their race, for his race. And yeah, I think it's pretty certain that Leclerc will go ahead and get a podium position. Right now, Oscar Piastri is scoring 4 points and Verstappen is scoring 18, so that's nice. But Verstappen is definitely losing a lot of points, 15, 10 points to Lando Norris. So yeah, that's not good. How far was Norris behind Piastri? I mean, if things remain the way they are right now, I think Verstappen is inching closer. So it's gonna be great. So if the result is as it is right now, it'll be good. But man, Lewis Hamilton has bad luck, dude. Leclerc goes into the pits. Good pit stop, 2.2 seconds. Norris has a pit stop. Norris is a pit stop ahead of Max Verstappen right now. It's insane. Norris is 28.6 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen. Oliver Behrman is now past Yuki Tsunoda. That's how good he is on the Haas. Yuki needs to pit again, I get it, but Oliver Behrman is on the tear, man. Oliver Behrman is doing a great job. He is only 2 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. Let's see, because the Haas looks racy, man. Esteban Ocon is horrible, that's why he cannot find the pace. But Oliver Behrman is looking great. Great. Oliver Behrman, a lot of people talk shit about him after the United States Grand Prix, even though he scored some good points with the Yuki Tsunoda situation. Now Kimi Antonelli is now putting some pressure on Yuki Tsunoda, and Tsunoda should go and box because this way he's just going to lose a lot of track position. What he is doing is Red Bull is sacrificing Yuki because he can definitely slow the gap behind him down. You know, Kimi Antonelli and then George Russell, then Piastri and Hamilton, all these people behind him can get slowed down if they just leave Yuki Tsunoda out and tell him to defend as much as possible. But it's not going to happen. And he's going to slow them, but not as much as it will benefit Red Bull. Right now, they're just ruining Yuki's race so far for no reason because Yuki's pace is so horrible that he cannot defend for shit from anybody. Maybe a little bit from Oscar Piastri right now, we'll see. But Piastri has fresher tires, dude. And this is helping Lewis Hamilton, obviously, because now Lewis can close up. I think Lewis has closed up a little bit. So let's see if Yuki can keep Piastri behind for one more lap. Yeah, Lewis is closing fast. He has closed up almost a second now. He was 3 seconds, more than 3 seconds behind Piastri, and right now, thanks to Yuki, he's just closing like a motherfucker. The gap between Piastri and Hamilton right now is dead 2 seconds. Wow, in the stadium section, they are now very close. Now they're going to the last corner. I think this is where Oscar Piastri gets past Yuki Tsunoda. Ah, fuck. The mighty stint. Yuki, go to the inside. Go to the inside. No, Yuki just left the door open. Norris on the radio box. He has a 28-29 second lead over P2 Max Verstappen. Lando Norris flew away, man. Lando Norris flew away. He is 29 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen on lap 35. He put 30 seconds between himself and the rest of the field at halfway of the race. Half a minute within half a race. I think he's going to put even more gap now. Fuck, man. But I can live with this result. If Verstappen is like P3, then I can live with it. But let's see what Oliver Behrman does. Because Oliver is quick. Lewis is now about to. So George Russell was asking that if he can overtake Kimi Antonelli, and the team said yes, you can race. So Lewis right now is struggling to get past Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda moves into the inside line. Lewis goes around the outside, makes the overtake perfectly. And now again, the pursuit of Oscar Piastri continues. So George Russell is now the big wall ahead of Oscar Piastri, and it's gonna be fun now. It's gonna be fun now. Because ahead of Russell is Antonelli, and ahead of Antonelli is BMN. And BMN right now, as we are finding out, is a motherfucker to deal with. So oh my god, Fernando Alonso is gonna get retired. Ah, fuck. Fernando Alonso is retiring again from the race. For whatever reason, he doesn't have any luck into 2025. Hopefully, in 2026, he will have a little bit more luck compared to this year. Russell is trying to overtake Kimi Antonelli, and this is gonna be fun. So, Kimi Antonelli is doing a great job at defending against George Russell, but Russell is like, let me buy it because I can attack the Haas and the Ferrari out of them and go for a podium. And the team is like, you need to back off to cool the brakes. And this is where it gets interesting because right behind Russell is Piastri within a second, and then right like 4 seconds, 4.2 seconds behind Piastri is Lewis Hamilton. So let's see if Lewis Hamilton can catch up. Like in the interim, because Russell is gonna be hard to overtake. Russell is gonna have DRS. And right behind him is a McLaren breathing down his neck. So Lewis needs to just chip away and stay closer to Piastri. In case anything happens, he can get the position. But it's gonna be interesting now. Yuki Tsunoda has a 12-second pit stop. I am feeling very sleepy, man. Oh wow. Wheel-to-wheel racing between Esteban Ocon and Alex Albon. Esteban wins out. So again, Lewis Hamilton is about to start to catch up. The gap is still slightly above 4 seconds, 4 seconds and 2 tenths. Russell. So George Russell is now under pressure from McLaren, and Kimi Antonelli is being difficult to overtake. So it's going to be insane for the McLaren boys. So the Verstappen pits, and now he's going to get ahead of he's gonna get out in some free air. 7 seconds, 8.5 seconds behind Lewis. George Russell. I mean, I'm just dozing off, man. Fuck. This is very unprofessional of me. So, right now, George Russell just said that if I cannot get past Oliver Bearman, I'll give the position back. And now the team is debating. Lewis Hamilton, come on, dude. You need to close up. This is the great opportunity. Lewis is not making an impact at all. In fact, he's fallen back. Lewis needs to attack. The only thing that is saving Russell at this moment is DRS, because he's close to Kimi Antonelli ahead. Come on, Russell, go to the inside. Russell is doing a great job at defending, but Lewis Hamilton is doing a shit job. Lewis is still falling away. What's happened with his Ferrari? Oh my god. Because I think in a while we're gonna have a Hamilton versus Verstappen once again. We will see how that pans out. In 10 laps time, I think that's happening. Hamilton versus Verstappen, Chapter 2, 2025 Mexico City Grand Prix. Russell doing a great job going through the stadium section right now. Lewis needs to make an impact. Lewis is still more than 4 seconds behind Piastri. He should be within 2 seconds of Piastri right now. I need to finish this live stream, dude. I cannot stay awake for some reason. I cannot sit here and talk. But I have to thug it out. Do I have to thug it out? I think I can thug it out. Let's just take it easy, take a sip of water, thug it out. Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen, Chapter 2, 2025 Mexico Grand Prix edition, happening in 7 laps time. The race has been interesting in some areas, but Verstappen is way behind to be, even considered, because if things stay this way, because he has lost the world championship and Norris is gonna win. Russell radio. So, interestingly, George Russell is holding position and he is abusing a lot on the radio. Kimi Antonelli is being told to swap positions, and let's see what happens. So, Kimi Antonelli breaks off, and now George Russell is the lead Mercedes, and Russell is now released. Oliver Bearman is now under threat from George Russell, who is 2.1 seconds behind. Let's see for how long Kimi Antonelli can defend against Oscar Piastri. Maybe Kimi Antonelli and Oscar Piastri will have a collision, and it could get interesting in that regard. So we will see the relative pace of Russell and Bearman in a few laps time. There are a lot of battles coming up. I'm just gonna take it a little bit easy because I'm tired and I have to yap on for about another hour, I would say. Not hour, but like 40 minutes at least. Yeah, 45 minutes. I mean, this is all helping Lando Norris and the guys ahead because Oscar Piastri now is stuck. And Verstappen needs to go and show some magical pace, man. Something needs to happen for Verstappen because, judging by how the race has been panning out so far, Verstappen's chances at the fifth world title are gone. Wow, Norris on radio. Okay, so Norris and his engineer had some chat about the tire compound preference. Norris said that the soft is a better tire, obviously, because it has more grip. Don't know why that need to be said. Anyway, Kimi Antonelli is a good enough job, is doing a good enough job to keep Oscar Piastri behind. Lewis Hamilton is still almost 4 seconds behind Piastri, which is unbelievably shameful. Lewis needs to push as hard as possible. Now Verstappen is 3.6 behind Lewis Hamilton, and that battle will get interesting. I think Verstappen will easily pass Hamilton. Easily. And the reason for that is he's on soft tires. Hamilton is on the mediums. And if Verstappen passes Hamilton, then can he go and catch Oscar Piastri, who is 3 seconds ahead of him on the road? Can Verstappen pull out 6 to 8 more seconds? Let's see. Verstappen needs to pull some magic, bro. But Verstappen needs to, put one of his Senna-esque drives right now from lap 44 to lap 71 till the end of this Grand Prix. He needs to go out and do some exceptional tire management while showing great pace and overtake cars. He needs to do it in Mexico. Otherwise, his title dreams of fifth world title is over. It's over now, based on how things are. But let's see. He needs to overtake Piastri on track and maybe even Antonelli on track. But George Russell has not pulled away as he has claimed. Kimi Antonelli still is within a DRS distance of his teammate, so we're seeing an overtake of Albon overtaking Colapinto. So right now Max Verstappen needs to push because after this race he will be 47 points. He will lose 7 points to the championship leader. But it's insane now. He needs to respond, man. I think Oliver Bowman can very well get a podium. I don't think any other battle can happen. Yes, we have Verstappen versus Hamilton coming. So Oliver Bowman is now on his way to secure a podium. He just needs to hold on to that. And I need to stay chill so that I can watch it live. I don't want to shut it down now. We have very few laps remaining. After 4 laps, we'll have 20 laps, so 21. Verstappen needs to pull out some pace and some great overtaking maneuvers. Yeah, Verstappen is right behind Lewis Hamilton. Let's see how that pans out. But Lewis's pace has gone, man. Leclerc is doing good. Leclerc is 20 seconds behind Norris right now. So, right now, the things to watch are the progress of Max Verstappen. If Max can go and put some pressure on Piastri and maybe even pass him, because Verstappen needs to do some magical driving today. He needs to. If Norris gets a DNF for Piastri on radio, so McLaren Pitwall are saying box to overtake Antonelli. I think they want to put Max in, not Max, Piastri in a two stop. I don't know how that's gonna be useful. Yeah, Verstappen made a great overtake on Lewis Hamilton. Lewis didn't even fight it. Yeah, I mean, he knows his pace. Oh, Kimi Antonelli defends perfectly. Now Max Verstappen is on tail of Oscar Piastri. This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be very interesting. And Lewis Hamilton is, going to be back in the mix if something happens between Verstappen and Piastri. Kimi just needs to defend against Piastri for a couple more laps, and now we got Max Verstappen on Piastri's tail. We need this. This is the battle that we have been looking forward to. Piastri versus Verstappen head to head. On a racetrack, on a track where the McLaren are dominant and the Red Bull is not particularly fast. Hamilton on the radio being told to box. Lewis is gonna go maybe put on a set of softs. But let's see. Lewis Hamilton dives into the pit lane, and along with Piastri. Piastri goes to the pits. Hamilton goes to the pits. Antonelli goes to the pits. The McLaren had a great pit stop. Ferrari fucked up. And Antonelli had the slowest of them all. But Oscar Piastri won. Piastri is now ahead of Antonelli and Hamilton. I mean, Piastri was ahead of Hamilton, I think. Or was it? Yeah. Antonelli's slow pit stop fucked him. Now Oscar Piastri will have some great race pace, and so will Lewis Hamilton. Let's see what these guys can do. But I don't know if they are new tires. If it's not a new soft tire for Lewis, then why the fuck did he go on to that? Lewis doesn't have any kind of good pace right now. Lewis's pace is gone. Russell is in the pits. Everybody is now immediately switching to the two stop. Russell is now gonna get ahead of. Behrman is in the pits also. Oh my god. Oliver Behrman is ahead of George Russell, maintains track position. Holy fucking shit. Great job by Haas. Great job by Ollie. Oliver Behrman could be getting a podium. Wow. Esteban Ocon is attacking George Russell, dude. George Russell is in a Haas sandwich. And Esteban Ocon is now holding Oscar Piastri behind, which is definitely giving opportunity to Kimi Antonelli and Max Verstappen behind him to close up. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, okay, okay, there can be a contact. Oscar Piastri, great move. Oh, he's still. Oh, he got past. Oscar Piastri muscled his way past. Turn 5. Great job. Kimi Antonelli also makes easy work of Esteban Ocon. Now Kimi is on the hunt of Piastri also. Kimi needs to go and get some points off of Piastri. Where is Verstappen? Verstappen is in a vulnerable position. Let's see what happens between Beerman and Verstappen. I'm very uncomfortable today, but I have to finish this live stream. I'm gonna watch the race, so might as well do the live stream. Lewis Hamilton goes past Esteban. Yeah, Verstappen is a sitting duck, I think. I think Verstappen has taken a gamble by staying on the one stop. I don't know how it's gonna work out. Lewis Hamilton fastest sector 1. There is a battle between Piastri, Antonelli, and Lewis. There's a battle brewing. George Russell fastest sector 2. The new tires, obviously. Not new, but like soft tires. George puts in the fastest lap of the race. If things remain the way it is, then yeah, if things remain the way they are, then Haas Ferrari will beat Kick Sauber in the podium standings. I still think Behrman has a shot at podium if he just continues to push. He needs to push though. Luck radio. So towards the end of the race, we can see some great last minute overtaking maneuvers. Because the pace can drop significantly towards the end of the race. So Oliver Behrman is under pressure from George Russell. The thing is, Behrman, Russell, Piastri, Antonelli, Hamilton, all these people are very close to one another. So if one holds one person up, then it creates the opportunity for the others behind them to catch up and join the DRS train. So let's see who has the ability to do it, and yeah, Behrman defends. But Oliver Behrman is doing his job, man. He's doing great. He is helping Oscar Piastri catch up. He is helping Kimi Antonelli and Lewis Hamilton behind him to catch up as well. Piastri needs to push a little bit more, but he is not closing to Russell. But Russell can. Russell is very close. Depends from the last corner how close, how good the exit is. Slightly better. Behrman could have tucked it underneath. Behrman is under threat now. Go to the inside, buddy. Go to the inside. Go to the inside. Go to the inside! Oh my god. Okay, Behrman stays ahead. Oh my god. Now Russell goes to turn 4 with another dose of DRS. Oliver Behrman defends again, thank god. Oliver's doing a great job. We're in lap 54 of 71. My brain is playing tricks on me. I don't know how long I can hold on, man. I genuinely don't know how long I can hold on. I really, really want to go to bed because nothing else is gonna happen. It's getting boring. I don't remember Mexico City racetrack to be so difficult to overtake, but Oliver Behrman doing a phenomenal job. There's not much. I'm not saying anything. I need to terminate this and go to bed, dude. Otherwise, I'm gonna be too sick tomorrow. Yeah, I have to go. I mean, the race is almost done. Norris is gonna win. Leclerc P2, Verstappen probably P3 because Behrman is 14 seconds behind him. So yeah, great job. Behrman is just inching ahead of George Russell in the final sector by 3/10, so that's keeping him ahead. Bortoleto is close to Isaac Hajar to challenge him for the points. Let's see if that can happen. Isaac Hajar defends. Bortoleto will try again in T4. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I have to turn this one off. Sorry guys, I'm still not completely recovered from sickness. The race is fucking boring and we need a safety car. So thank you for watching, like and subscribe. I need to get some I need to go see a doctor, dude. It's been a week since I'm not well. That's why I missed the Austin live stream because I was recovering. I need to go get some blood work done, some tests done. Let's see if this time... No, Russell is just too far behind and now Piastri has caught up. That battle will be interesting. The only things that can excite the race right now is drive-through penalty for Carlos Sainz for speeding through the pit lane. Great job. Isaac Hajar is holding on to the last point scoring position for his dear life, for life. But, you know, Esteban Ocon is inching closer and closer and closer. The race is fucking boring, man. I gotta go. I have to go get a doctor's appointment tomorrow. Fuck. So now Piastri is closing on to George Russell. Piastri is in DRS of George Russell, so Russell is under threat. Bearman did a good enough job. I think Bearman is gonna finish P4. Box drive through penalty. Carlos Sainz has just been told to serve the drive through penalty. So anyway, a day to forget for Williams once again. I don't know what's wrong with them, bro. They just make these type of stupid errors and it ruins their entire race. So if Russell holds on Piastri for long enough, that's gonna give opportunity to Kimi Antonelli. So the battle between Max Verstappen can challenge Charles Leclerc for P2 in 5 laps time. Okay, there is still something exciting remaining. So by the time we get to lap 63, Verstappen radio. So Max Verstappen can get P2 from Leclerc and reduce the damage even further. Again, as I was mentioning, Verstappen needed some magic today and he is going to deliver some magic from the looks of it. Within 7 more laps, we will see. Lando Norris is out there cruising ahead and yeah, he's having the time of his life. Norris is just untouchable today. Norris is 27 seconds ahead. So Verstappen is closing to Leclerc. Now the gap is 6.7 seconds. By the time we reach lap 64, there will be attacks from Verstappen to Leclerc. So we'll see. Last year, Leclerc was attacked by Norris and he lost P2 to Norris. This time it's going to be Verstappen who will attack Leclerc, and interesting thing could happen. Yuki Tsunoda is just horrible. He is not even closing to Gabriel Bortoleto's Kiksawa. So Verstappen has not Verstappen. Oscar Piastri has DRS on George Russell, but that's not enough. The gap between Leclerc and Verstappen is 6 seconds. Okay, so Piastri is still stuck behind Norris. Verstappen is took out 4 tenths more from Leclerc's lead. Piastri needs to be more close. But Oliver Bowman is doing a great job. Oscar Piastri sends it down the inside. Great job. George Russell tries to fight back but couldn't. Oscar Piastri, great overtaking move into turn 4. Great job. Great job. He needed that. He needed that. Into turn 1, I think he got it. Yeah, he got it into turn 1. Great job by Oscar Piastri. Now, can Oscar Piastri go chase and catch Oliver Behrman? Looks like it. Verstappen needs to beat Leclerc, man. He needs to get ahead of Leclerc. It's critical now. Championship critical. It was a surprise move. Russell didn't expect that. Russell got caught napping. He didn't defend the inside line. He didn't defend the inside line at all. George Russell got napping. Caught napping. Piastri caught him napping. Piastri made it look like he was not going to go for the move. Then he went for the move into turn 1 and he made it stick. So Verstappen is now closing. And now Kimi Antonelli is saying, well, George Russell didn't get past Bearman, let alone anybody else. So I think we need to swap the positions again. Leclerc is a tenth faster than Verstappen in the first sector. But Verstappen is 2.5 tenths faster than Leclerc in the middle sector. The gap between Leclerc and Verstappen is 4.5 seconds now. 2 more laps. Oh my god. I think Leclerc is holding on well. Verstappen just needs to push like crazy. And yeah, if Leclerc has one lockup, then he basically will lose a huge chunk from his lead. But now Leclerc is starting to push. So let's see. Wow. My body temperature has increased by a degree or something. I do not feel good. But Max Verstappen is doing a good job now. He was clearing the back markers, that's why it was difficult. That's why he was not making the impression. He needs to push now though. Not a lot of laps have left, and Verstappen needs to push like a motherfucker right now. Quali laps, nobody's between him. Just keep going, man. Give it 100%, dude. Verstappen needs to give it all. 8 laps remaining. Gabriel Bortolotto, Isaac Hazard giving us some great wheel-to-wheel action. Gabriel Bortolotto winning that exchange. Wow. Isaac Hazard is now P11. Holy shit. Great job, Gabi. Wow. Wow. Norris got, I mean, so Max Verstappen is now 3.3 behind Charles Leclerc. 7 laps to go. He needs to push, man. He needs to push like crazy. And in the meanwhile, Piastri can beat Bearman for P4 so that he can, gain some points back as well. So Verstappen is continually pushing and eking out the lead. But Leclerc is not a joke, so he won't be intimidated like that. Wow. I shouldn't have taken my fever medicine before the live stream. Now I'm just drooping. I'm struggling to stay. Someone needs to crash into someone. Alex Alvan trying to send it down the inside of Isaac Hajar. Failed on this occasion. Going into turn one actually. The turn one move. Alex Albon again trying it in turn 4, and I think, oh yes, he made it past. Lando Norris is being impeded because the back markers are having a battle of their own. So Ferrari right now, based on how things are, they will go up into the constructor standings with 1 point lead over Mercedes. So things are looking great for Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton is not doing good, man. So Verstappen is only 2.5 seconds behind Leclerc. 5 laps to go. Come on, come on. It's not that big of a gap if you think about it. He can see Leclerc. He can easily see Leclerc around the corner. Okay, what happened? Yeah, Leclerc is only 2.2 ahead of Verstappen. Oscar Piastri is 1.3 behind Oliver Bowman. And yeah, that is another battle shaping up. Okay. Wow, I'm just. Max Verstappen is 1.8 behind Charles Leclerc. I just dozed off for like a solid minute there. I'm being very unprofessional. 4 laps to go. We can do this. Oliver Bowman is still holding on. Come on, Ali. Oliver Bowman is doing a great race. And Leclerc is 1.4 behind Charles. Come on, come on. Leclerc, I mean, Max needs to push hard, as hard as possible. He needs to get into DRS. Nothing is happening. Nobody's closing, nobody's poising to put an attack. I should have disconnected and went to bed. But then I would have missed the Oscar Piastri overtake of George Russell, and then Kimi Antonelli and George Russell swap. So that's not important action, but it is what it is. Max is still not within the DRS. He's catching 3 laps to go. Norris is 30 seconds ahead of Leclerc. Crazy. Does Max has DRS? Evander Holyfield will be waving the checkered flag. Insane. So Oscar Piastri is now attacking the shit out of Oliver Behrman. They're very close with 2 laps to go. Oliver Behrman is getting a little bit of respite because of the back markers ahead of him, so he will also get a healthy dose of DRS. Charles Leclerc is under huge pressure from Max Verstappen because Max Verstappen is just outside of the DRS zone. So if by the time they go through the stadium section, Max closes the gap, so there's a yellow flag somewhere. So something happened. So Max is very close to Charles right now. Is he gonna send it down the inside? Send it, send it, send it, Max, send it! I think Max is gonna set it up for turn 4. Come on, Max, do it. What the fuck happened, bro? Charles is doing a great job. Okay, Verstappen's last real chance. Verstappen is just, come on, Verstappen. You have to stay close. You have to stick as close as possible. Stick as close as possible. Yes, it's a yellow flag. Oh, it's a VSC. Oh my god, this guy's fucked up. The virtual safety car is gonna fuck it up. We have no more racing laps remaining. So Norris P1, Leclerc P2, Verstappen P3, Behrman P4. Great job to him. Piastri has to settle for P5. Then Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, Esteban Ocon, and Gabriel Bortoleto, gets the final point. So great job by him. Yeah, fuck the race directors, man. Fuck them. George Russell must be just, being so happy in that cockpit. Oh, VSC is ending. But does Max has enough? Max gonna send it? VSC is ending. We only have a few corners left. Lando Norris is now navigating the final corner. Great job by Lando Norris. Takes the checkered flag. A few more corners to go. Leclerc needs to hold on. And so does Behrman. I think Behrman is going to hold on because Piastri is too far back. Yep, Leclerc took P2. The virtual safety car ruined everything. Oliver Behrman did a great job. Started P8, finished P4. So I think that's the race, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking with me. I was not very professional today, but I mean, no excuses. That's that. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.